Hi everybody, it's Annette with the Art of Intuition, and today we're going to talk about obligation energy. Obligation energy is probably one of the stickiest we get into when we start looking at different energies and why we do things. Pretty much in the beginning, everything we do is really for some obligation. We feel obligated to do it. We've been doing it for a long time, and maybe at one point we enjoyed doing it. At one point it brought us joy. At one point it was something we wanted to do. And after a while, it's not. And normally it's after we start expanding, we start growing ourselves, we start kind of looking at things in different lights. We start enjoying different things and we look at some other stuff and we find we're doing it because of the big O, obligation. And that can be from the smallest thing. Let's say you always go to a particular restaurant and leave a massive tip. And that's because that's what you felt like doing. After a while, you feel like that's expected. And then sometimes we have to stop doing that because now that's expected and you don't want to feed obligation energy. Obligation energy is a very human thing. We attach a lot of cords to things. We attach a lot of emotions to things and we feel obligated. So I want everyone to look at what they do on a daily basis because they feel obligated to do it. Now that might be to carry a lot of the burden for something. A lot of times we will be carrying a lot of burden for something because we feel like if we don't do it, people won't do it themselves. So we've almost obligated ourselves to do more than we need to do. And that's when you get into imbalances, and that's eventually going to collapse anyway. But sometimes we can be so bogged down with obligation, we don't even do things we want to do anymore. Like we're involved in stuff we don't even enjoy. We do stuff that it doesn't even make any sense, but we have an obligation. We feel obligated. So obligation energy is massive. It's one of the biggest things you're going to have to look at when you start looking at realigning your realities and looking at why you got into certain things, certain relationships. Why do you still do them? So one of the first things I'll look at is, do I enjoy doing it? Is it something I really want to do? Does it bring me happiness? If it does not bring me happiness, I immediately know I've got obligation energy going on. Or why am I doing it? I mean, I think sometimes obligation is even bigger than guilt energy. I think sometimes we can clear guilt energy very quickly when we get to a certain space. Obligation, because we create all these realities that are built on obligation. So for a lot of our reality, it has become like that, a very weak foundation, granted, but it's still a foundation. So we're obligated. And how do you get out of obligation? It's almost more getting out of it is scarier than continuing to do it. Because if we have to get out of obligation energy, then we have to get out of what we're doing. And then we're afraid people will be mad at us. So now we're judging, trying to stop doing something. We're judging ourselves. Remember, other people won't judge us if we don't judge it. Others match back what we believe or don't believe. They mirror it back to us. That's why they're there. They say things that we need to hear because we somewhere believe them, or they would not say it. So look at your obligations. Look at where everything you do that you're obligated. Make a list. I think it's going to shock you on what you actually enjoy doing and what you're doing actually from your purest place. Because another thing to remember, obligation energy is not from our purest place. And really, if you look at it, and I'm sure you would feel the same way, do you really want someone to do something because they feel obligated? Or you want somebody to do it because they really want to do it? They don't feel a pressure to do it. They really want to do it because they really want to do it. And I think you already know the answer to that. You want everyone to be in it for the right reasons. Okay, everybody. Remember, look at obligation and keep practicing the art of intuition.